and gentlemen, welcome back to the Woogity Bros podcast. Today we have a special edition, a fantasy football edition coming at you. Coming to my right, we've got Johnny the Boy Sheridan.
Ski you.
And to my left, we've got Joey B, Joey O. Let's go.
I don't like that. What's up, everybody? I don't know what that was, but
I don't fucking know. I should have thrown out some fruit there, Joey Banana. I went to go say Joey Bananas, and it just said Joey B. But anyway, we've got some tips, tricks, and everything in between fantasy football-wise coming at you today. We've got some sleepers that we've got for you. We've got some people that we think are going to fall in the draft. We have some people that we think you should not draft. You should stay far away. They're going to fall down. They're going to fall down this year in the rankings. So now that we got you here, let's get into it. Sherry, what do you got for us?
You tell me, bro. What are we starting off with? Are we starting off with who's gonna fall off or who's on the rise?
Yeah. So what I want to get to first is who we think is going to be. It has a higher draft position, but we think is actually going to fall off this season. They're going to take a dive. So
Got you.
Do you want to start us off, or should I start us off with the one player that I have in mind?
Nah, I'll go.
Go ahead.
I'll go. Don't worry. So I think the biggest player that's going to drop off this upcoming season is Austin Eckler. All right. That's my take. Because you're going to have a healthy Keenan Allen and Michael Williams back, and they just got this rookie 6'4" dude, Quentin Johnston. He's supposed to be a beast. So I think a lot of the targets are going to, be spread out throughout the Chargers offense. I just don't think Eckler's going to be able to rack up 107 catches he had last year.
Yeah, so I disagree for a couple of reasons.
so yeah, well, okay, great. Now that you said your
cool.
piece, I disagree.
I disagree for a couple of reasons. Two, one of them being Austin Eckler was franchise tagged. If he wants a big deal, he is going to have to perform this year, and they're going to be counting on it. The Chargers defense is dog shit, and so they're going to have to produce a lot of points in order to actually win this year in a very tough division. Austin Eckler is a bowling ball, and even though the Chargers had a very good receivers last year in Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, they still relied on Austin Eckler heavily to throw it down in the flat or have these check down passes. Justin Herbert just finds him quite a bit. So I think that he might not fall off. He might not be number one overall pick in the draft. I just don't think that his production is going to fall off that much.
I mean, Keenan Allen and Michael Williams were hurt a good amount last year. So that's why he was able to rack up those catches. And it was mostly in garbage time too. So that always helps for fantasy.
I'm glad you picked the Chargers first, because my fall off guy this year is Keenan Allen. I think he's going to be toast this year. I think the age and the injuries are catching up to him. And Quentin Johnston getting drafted to that team, he's supposed to be the best wide receiver in the draft, where they drafted him for a reason. They're going to replace Keenan Allen. I think that he's going to be the wide receiver 3 on that team come the end of the year. He might have 30, maybe 40 catches, but he is nowhere near prime Keenan Allen, and he's nowhere near the top wide receiver on that team.
I mean, what's his projection right now? Like, where's he projected to go right now?
18.
Yeah, up there.
He's ranked 18th amongst wide receivers.
Oh, amongst wide receivers, yes.
Yeah.
So average draft position's 40 for him.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't seem like a big fall off to me.
No, me neither. He is the first Charger wide receiver off the board though, according to Sleeper.
He's ranked ahead of like DeAndre Hopkins and Debo and Brandon Ayuk. And I don't think he's even going to be, top 20, top 30 wide receiver this year.
Okay. I mean, I think he's gonna do exactly kind of like what he's kind of projected to do. I think he's gonna be around like the 18th, the best wide receiver in the league as far as fantasy goes. Like I I'd be surprised if he drops to like 30 or something like that. As far as fantasy rankings go, but I mean we'll see. I can't see him dropping off, dropping down to 25, like 20, 25 spots in the rankings. That just doesn't seem feasible to me.
Yeah,
It just seems like unrealistic.
I'd say fourth round is, pretty good for him.
Right. I feel like that's
Yeah.
that's the value he adds. You know what I mean?
Give me another friggin' name, dude.
So for me, so here's my take who I think is gonna have a down season this year. And this might come off as a bit of a surprise. I think Stephon Diggs is gonna have a down year this year. Um, there's been some rumors lately coming out saying that he's really not happy in Buffalo anymore. Sounds like he's just not buying into the system anymore and like what the game strategy is there. So I mean, if he's going into the season potentially disgruntled and unhappy, is he going to be top tier? Where's he going to go from there? And if he does end up getting moved somewhere else, unless it's somewhere that is just lacking receivers, I mean, I just don't think he's going to get the same numbers because he's not going to go to another one unless he gets picked up by Kansas City for no reason or something like that with like a good quarterback. You put him like anywhere else outside of like Kansas City, Cincinnati, I mean, New England's not an option. You know what I mean? Minnesota. Like he's only got so many options for good quarterbacks that they'll be able to find him and give him the kind of production he's had in the past with Josh Allen. And if he's not bought into the system with Josh Allen and the Bills in general anymore, if his heart's not in it, I don't think he's going to perform the way we're accustomed to him performing.
We'll know by week 5 if he's unhappy.
I think you'll know by week 3. I think it'll be a lot. I think it'll be a lot sooner. I think if they don't come out at least 2-1 in the first 3 weeks, and he's not putting up and he's not getting the targets and the numbers that he should be, like I could see him being like, guys, like I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. Pardon my language. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What do you guys' thoughts?
I think that if his production does fall off, I don't think it's going to be because of him. I think they might scheme away from him to save him, to try to trade him.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be because he decides to give up or wants to, protest the season. I also think there's plenty of places that he can go to. He can go to the Giants. The Giants would be great for him. He can go back to the Vikings. That'd be sick. There's a bunch of teams that you could probably go to, whether they have the draft capital or the players to trade for him and still be good. Is another thing, but I think he will produce. You're right. He might fall off from second best wide receiver in the league, but
right. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, like ESPN, Roto Football, they are like Roto Baller. They got him ranked at 5th overall. Like just that, and that's just like, oh, well, yeah, 5th amongst wide receivers ultimately, but overall in general.
What's his average draft position?
10, 11.
Wow. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little high. Yeah.
I feel like
was thinking
low.
maybe 15.
Yeah.
I think that's low.
And see,
Really?
I'm not saying he's gonna like to the point you made too. Like, I'm not saying he's gonna like give up on him or anything like that. Just not try. I just think if his heart's not in it, and also them two like scheming away from him, I think those two things, like if they see that like, hey, he's just not happy with like what our strategy is, and he's just his heart's not in the game. Not saying he's not gonna try hard, but like, I mean, you can try, but if you're just not in it because there's no need for you to be in it anymore, if they're not playing to your strengths, yeah, you can kind of check out of the game. I'm not saying he's gonna quit, but I just think he underperformed. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. Yeah.
He's definitely the type of receiver that will get frustrated if he doesn't get the ball early and often. So he can definitely like mentally check out of a game if he wanted to.
Right. Well, it's like not like he's giving up. He's just not fully invested in the game. Like he's still gonna go out there and run his routes and catch the ball when it gets to him. He's just not gonna go hard the rest of the time.
Not bad, not bad. I hear you. Interesting
So
take
what
though. Wasn't expecting that.
No, yeah, I got the interesting takes. That's what I like to do. I like to throw you guys off. Who else we got? What other positions we going after?
you want to keep going after the fall off?
Yeah, so do we really think Travis Kelsey is going to be drafted fifth this year? I mean, I don't know. He's going to be 33 years old. I understand, him and Patrick Mahomes, they have that connection, but I don't know. It's just he's 33 years old. I don't know.
I don't see his production falling off that much, if at all. I just think that the way Andy Reid schemes that offense, it's inevitable for him to have solid games, like game in, like night in and night out, week in and
He
week
had
out.
he had 110 catches last year.
Yeah,
That's wild.
but some of that
It
too,
is a
like
lot.
he benefits a lot too from getting those little like Mahomes just scrambling out and Kelsey just realizing like, oh, I just gotta get like away from somebody and like near Patrick so he can just kind of chuck the ball in my direction. Like I'll try to figure it out from there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and
He uh the reason why I think he'll still catch 100 balls.
mhm.
Number 5 overall. There's not a lot of good tight ends, so if you want to stretch for a tight end, you can. Um, Especially one of his caliber, which is just a secondary wide receiver. I guess it would all depend on if you're in a PPR league or if you're in a standard league. I said it before and I'll say it again. Travis Kelsey is the Julian Edelman of tight ends. And what I mean by that is he is smart enough to identify the zone defense that he's playing against. And he knows damn well when he sees the zone defense, he's going to run behind the linebackers and sit in the middle of the linebackers behind them so that Patrick Mahomes can find him. That's pretty much where he makes his bread and butter is those like 10-yard throws, just pitch and catch throws. Now he can do it both ways, but it's pretty much the reason why he has saved himself from getting injured all these years is because he gets those intermediate catches and then just goes to the ground, or he'll get a couple extra yards and just go to the ground, as opposed to Rob Gronkowski or Mark Andrews being sent down the seam. You know,
Yeah. Um,
That's fair.
yeah. So you said so much. It was like it got to a certain point. I'm like, there's too much for me to like go back and
No,
comment on. Yeah,
yeah,
good points.
you make a
Yeah,
lot of points,
yeah.
but
You made too many points. I think you made too many
sorry.
points.
it's just I don't know, 110 catches, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. That's gonna be hard to duplicate in my eyes.
Yeah, but I'm not really seeing like a duplication. I'm saying like similar numbers. You know,
I
what is
mean,
the average that he's had over the last 3 years? I would give him the average.
like for instance, like ESP. I'm going through looking at the wrong position.
Yeah,
So
110, 92, 105, 97, 103 over the past 5 years.
yeah.
I'd give him 100.
So like ESPN's
Especially
projections got him his targets dropping about 16 and his receptions dropping by like 9. So they're putting him down like 1150 yards this year projections. So there is a little bit of a decline like expected out of that. Still solid numbers though. I mean, considering the next best ranked tight end they have, like with ESPN at least, Mark Andrews, and he's only projected to get they only projected him at 73 receptions, 866 yards. Like,
There's no way Mark Andrews does that kind of project kind of numbers. I don't believe.
If he,
just because they have Zay Flowers now,
it's almost
Odell
identical.
Beckham Jr. He's not getting all those targets now.
They have a healthy Rashad Bateman too.
But again, though, like a good chunk of his yards come from the fact that he has receivers like Lamar's has receivers going deep and can scramble, and you keep Mark Andrews within like 5'10", like between 5-10 yards, like just kind of like staying in the area, and Lamar starts running scrambles and can give him a nice little pass, like push him to the sideline. You know what I mean? Like it happens so much. I had Mark on my fantasy team last year, and like I benefited from those plays so often because you just get him a little touchdown here and there too. But like just getting those like receptions and those little chunk yards, like he was kicking ass and taking names at that. Is to say it's he's like Baltimore's Travis Kelce. I mean, it's the same concept with those two. You have a mobile quarterback and you have a tight end that can kind of just hang out in that area.
Yeah, I think his best season was probably when he had Hollywood Brown running down the field.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? Najee Harris. What do we think about Najee Harris? We think he's going to fall? I think he's going to fall off a little bit.
He didn't even have that good of a year last year.
Right.
I know.
I
He
mean,
got hurt. He's going to be bottom. He's still going to be like an RB2, but I don't see him being an RB1. One of my sleeper teams for production, if you will, would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to take a big step forward this year. They ended the year 7-2 last year and just missed the playoffs to the Dolphins. I think we're going to see a big step up in Kyle Pickett, and I would look out Kenny Pickett, and I would look out for George Pickens to be like a top 10 wide receiver. That dude's a beast.
I can see that. But can Najee Harris be able to average more than 3.8 yards a carry?
No.
That's all he's done over the past 2 years.
No. He needs
4.8. That's what he needs.
That's a lot.
Okay, 4.5 then to be a good running back.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him it. I wouldn't give him it at all. I think if anything, if I was the Steelers, I would keep him at a third down back. I would keep him at a third down back, throw it to him in the slot, maybe flex him out to the slot. Yeah, that's what I would do. But I wouldn't touch him in the first 3 rounds.
Mm-mm.
So, shift gears a little bit. Who do you guys think is going to be the biggest standout player this year? Who do you think is going to make the biggest improvement this year? Most improved for fantasy? Who do you think? And we'll go. I'll let you pick. You can go quarterback, running back, or wide receiver.
You go first because I gotta.
Okay, so I think Justin Fields is going to have a big year this upcoming season. Dude ran for 1,100 yards last year, which is insane.
Yep.
And he's only going to get better throwing the ball. So I think he's going to take a big leap.
Okay.
He's QBR 6 right now. Average draft position 45. I think maybe he should go in the 3rd round, honestly, because he's that much of a dual threat. He's played. I'm pretty sure he's played every game. 15 games last year. Okay. But even still, he was more healthier than Lamar Jackson, Lamar only played 12 games.
That's fair.
And Lamar's QBR 4.
Do you think that DJ Moore is going to make that big of a difference in that offense?
Yes. Yeah. Most definitely. Because who did he have last year? His best receiver was Darnell Mooney, right? That was his best receiver. And he's like a wide receiver 3 at best in my eyes.
Yeah, they've got no one.
Oh, they have they traded for him from
Tyler Scott.
Pittsburgh. No, from Pittsburgh. What's his name? He's got the dreads.
Um,
That guy,
Chase
yeah.
Claypool. Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Brain fart right there.
He
But
said,
yeah, so
the guy with the guy with the face
yeah,
and the
that
name
dude,
who plays
that
football.
that guy.
Yeah. He
That
wears
dude.
he wears cleats
Yeah,
sometimes.
he should be better too.
Chase Claypool is not a wide receiver number one, and Pittsburgh
Mm-mm.
tried to use him as a wide receiver number one, and it did not work out well. They got better after they traded him.
Right. Well, Deontay Johnson is really good. You got to give him the ball.
Yeah, we'll see. He's he's a question mark in the passing game for me. In the running game, like scrambling, he's top five. But to be a dual threat quarterback, you got to be able to do both effectively.
Right.
Even Lamar Jackson, like he was questionable throwing the ball for his first couple of seasons, and then they gave him Hollywood Brown, and he just lit it up. He was like, okay, everyone's gonna come in. I'm just gonna throw it deep, and you catch it.
Right. Where's
So
DJ Moore projected to go?
I don't know.
Fifth round. Average
That's
draft
solid.
position is 51.
That might be a steal. That might be a steal.
Yeah.
If you're high on Justin Fields, that could be a steal. He's going to be wide receiver number one. He's going to
Right.
get targets. My step up this year is going to be Juwan Dotson from the Washington Commanders.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. He got injured last year. But he still had, I think he only played like 4 or 5 games.
What
He
year
like
is
lit
he
it
in?
up. This is going to be his second year.
Okay. Yep, that's right.
This is going to be his second year, right? So let me just look up his. Let me just grab his stats right here. Sorry.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know, man. With Sam Howell at quarterback, we don't know how
Yep.
good he's going to be.
Okay. Oh, fuck, where's his game stats? Here we go.
That's tough for me.
It's tough.
I kind of liked what's his name? The other guy that they had. Heineke. Taylor Heineke. I liked him better. That dude.
Really?
Yeah. But they kept benching him.
Yeah, well,
they
that's why.
did.
That's why I'm like, really? Like that's who
I'm
you go
like,
with?
that dude's a competitor.
So, in 10 games started, he had 35 catches for 500 yards, and 7 touchdowns. I think he gets his catches up.
As a rookie last year?
As a rookie last year.
He had 7 touchdowns?
7 touchdowns.
Wow. In 10 games.
In 10 games.
Okay. Unexpected.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as it was a 61-yard touchdown. But listen, I think he's going to go. I think he'll be top 15 wide receiver. I think he'll make his way up to top 10. No, there's a lot of good wide receivers that are going. They're going to be in the middle of the pack, working their way up this year. Like you said, the biggest question would be his quarterback, but I still think he's going to get the targets, especially because they still have. Well, Terry just got hurt. Terry McLaurin, he just got hurt, but they have Curtis Samuel still. I think with McLaurin getting hurt, he's going to get the bulk of the targets. We'll see. But I think he's someone to keep a lookout for at wide receiver number 2.
I like it. Y'all are gonna hate me for what I'm about to say. Not because it's a bad person, but just because of things I've said in the past.
They're shitty.
I think Mac Jones is gonna improve this year.
Oh, okay, word. I thought you were about to shit on him.
No, I think he's gonna have. I think he got what he wanted. He wanted a real OC. He bitched about it. We caught him on the sidelines last year yelling about it. He got an OC. He got, you know what I mean? So I think he's got a little fire lit under his ass. I think he's going to show up and show out this year. I mean, ESPN's projected him to have like 3,300 yards. I'm gonna be wild. So I'm gonna say he's gonna throw for 3,900, possibly 4,000.
I want to know what the over under is on that. Because
Well,
I might bet the over if you're gonna say that.
okay. I just feel like this is gonna be. I think part of it too has to do with how much New England fans cheered for Bailey Zappi. Like,
I would say if Mac Jones throws for 3,900 yards in his third year, it wouldn't be enough to keep his job.
well, considering he didn't even hit 3,000 last year, I'd say
How many
Yeah.
games he playing?
How many games did he play in?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
mean
he
to cut you
missed
off.
2.
He missed 2. 14 games. 14 games. So he missed 3 games.
Missed 3.
Okay.
11 interceptions and 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, Joe, he had 3,800 yards in his first year.
Right. So I'm saying
Yeah.
he had a bad year. I'm saying he's going to come back and step it up. And I think he's going to do better. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, he's going to throw for 5,000 yards. No. But I think he's going to be much improved over last year. I think, like I said, I think he's got a fire lit under his ass. I think Patriots fans pissed him off. I think not having an OC pissed him off. And I think now you have an OC and you can say, hey, it wasn't me. It was the play calling. This is his opportunity to prove that it wasn't his fault last year. And if he was smart, he would take advantage of the opportunity and show out. So, yeah, that's who I think is going to be the biggest standout.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that he's going to be better to the extent in which, you know, he's going to be a stud, and even top 15 quarterback fantasy wise is beyond me. I don't think he'll be a top 15 quarterback fantasy wise.
Sleepers got him as QB 29.
Yep, ESPN's got him ranked 30th. I think
he'll be better than 30th. I don't see him being like top 20.
You set the bar real high. I think he'll be better than 30th. Like, as though there's anywhere else to go.
He could be 31 or 32.
Yeah, but
I mean,
he's got to be better than last year.
I think he'll hit top 15. I think it'll be top 15. Book it. That's my big fantasy football hot take. That's my fantasy football hot take. I booked it.
Booking it.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah.
That is a hottie.
You know, I had to throw it there before we wrap it all up, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah, they have that new rookie wide receiver who's supposed to be good. They have Juju Smith-Schuster. They've got Bourne, but like none of these guys are studs. And I think he's going to need a stud because he's not dynamic. He's not agile. He's not big enough to run the ball, to be a dual threat quarterback. He needs to be a pocket passer. I know he's been looking a lot better as a pocket passer this preseason. I just don't see him putting up crazy numbers to justify him being a starting fantasy quarterback for this year. Maybe if you want to draft him as your backup quarterback for your QB1 bye week, he might be a solid stash. But we'll see. Depends how deep your league is, how many bench positions you have. But I would keep him as a QB2 on your bench.
Fair enough. I'll take it. I'm drafting him my first pick.
Nice overall.
Yep. Just to be that guy.
I'll give you my number 1 overall pick so you can draft him.
Just so I can draft Mac Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might have to take you up on that. I might have to do that.
No, you're not drafting Mac Jones first overall, dude.
Hey, listen.
You're not
Save me
doing it.
from save me
Don't
from
worry.
drafting Justin Jefferson first overall.
Don't
I
worry
will
about me.
dismantle the league.
The pick that ended it all. Mac
I
Jones,
won't
first
allow
overall
it.
pick. All right, fellas. I
Yes.
think
Good, sorry.
no, ladies first. Not for real, go though. Save a
Send us
chance.
I
home.
was gonna say Joe picks Mac Jones and his team is dropped from the league. And he's gone.
All right, I think we gave our insights on fantasy football enough. I don't know how credible we are, but it should make for some interesting weeks out there. I might have to take some of our tips and put them into a public league myself.
All right, everyone. That's our fantasy football show. We'll probably bring you another one or two or three throughout the regular season, give you an update on these hot takes that we brought you at the beginning of the season. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And be sure to leave a comment. We'll read your comments and we'll discuss some of the things that you got to say on the next episode of the Woogity Bros podcast. We out here every Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.